Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking the areas in Spelunky 2, and it's not going to be based off how much I like them. I'm going to do how difficult they are. And so the most difficult will go in S tier, and the easiest will go in D tier. So let's get right into it. So let's start off at the first area, and that is the dwelling. It's the first area in the game, and I'm going to put it in B tier. The reason it is difficult is because you start, with no items. So when you have no items, it can kind of be brutal. You have to deal with moles, the traps, the lizards, and if this level switched with the Temple of Anubis, it would be very easy because you would have significant items. It would be much easier, but since it's in the beginning and you kind of have to start this way, it can be extremely difficult. So the second area in the game is the jungle, and the jungle is going to be an A tier. This is significantly more difficult than Spelunky HD, and the main reason is because it is really packed with enemies and traps, much more than the previous game. Obviously the main difficulty is the Witch Doctor. This is probably the most annoying enemy in the game. It basically has like a moving shield, and when you hesitate to attack, it can has an automatic hit on you. And to add to that, there are many automatic deaths like the bear trap and man eater. Especially if it's a dark level, it's almost impossible, and it's really difficult to maneuver through. So that's why it's on A. Next area is Volcana, and it's gonna be put in B tier. Volcana is a borderline C for me, but the main reason it's in B is because of the lava. If there were no lava, it would probably be in C or D tier. And I'm sure everyone that is listening before has died to the lava after activating the drill, probably several times. If you don't have something that explodes when touching the fire or lava, it's a little easier, but still difficult. Other than lava and fire-like creatures, it's just robots and stuff, which are pretty easy to deal with. So that's why overall it's in B tier. So next up is the first boss area of the game, Olmec's Lair. And Olmec's Lair is going to go in C tier. The reason it's listed low is because once you get the hang of this place, it's really easy in my opinion. You develop a certain strategy, which you have used many times because, you've done it several times. It's kind of like in the beginning of the game, like middle to beginning. So I don't find myself dying there a lot because I've already developed a strategy, like I said. And so that's why it's in C tier. And it's not that difficult overall. The next area in the game is Tide Pool, and Tide Pool is in C tier. And the reason it's in C tier is because I don't find myself dying at Tide Pool a lot. I usually take a few hit points, but I never really die there. And it's really just because you kind of know what's coming. It's predictable. Every time you see a chest in a crate, you know there's going to be a snail. And the bear traps are easier to see, in my opinion. Really, the only difficulty of this place is there are going to be a lot of enemies in one place, and those things that stick to the ceiling could be really annoying sometimes. Other than that, I find myself dying to the Ankh skip, but that's optional. It's nothing to really do with Tide Pool. And yeah, I just don't die there very often, so it's in C. So the next area is the Temple of Anubis, and it's going to be the first S tier area. Anybody that plays the game, I think, would agree that this is one of the most difficult areas of the game because there are so many enemies that you have to maneuver through. Like the thing that shoots the lasers do 2 hit points each plus spawns an enemy. The cat mummy jumps around and can be really annoying to deal with. The croc men and all that. The crush traps also as well. That's one of the most annoying parts. Ironically, probably the easiest part is the boss, the Anubis. Anubis. The thing that makes it a little bit easier is that usually you'll only have to do about 1.5 levels because you go to the city gold in the second area, and then Duat, and then you're out of there. It's immediately to the ice caves. But yeah, I would still give it an S tier overall. Next area is the ice caves, and the ice caves are going to go in C. And the main reason the ice caves are in C is because it's a one and done. It's if you have a cape, a jetpack, climbing gloves, or you know how to do that method with the ledge. It's really easy. All you have to do is just go down. You know, you can have an alien ship drop on you, but that's just really bad luck. That doesn't happen that often. You know, if you don't know how to do the ledge trick or don't have anything, it would probably be A, because you probably will not survive the fall. But I would say overall it is C, and it's not very difficult. Alright, so next is Neo-Babylon, and it is also an S tier area, and it is an S tier area because of spark traps. That's really why. No, okay, I mean, there's a lot of things there besides spark traps. There are moving platforms, whatever those enemies are that shoot the lasers, and many more things. And, you know, the spark traps are the most difficult part because it constantly is moving around, and there are a lot of them, and they don't appear until you're right on them. So you have to look where you're going next when you're in this area, because you could easily bump into one, and if you have a jetpack, it will explode and you're done. So this area, and also there are lasers. So this area overall is just really difficult to get through. So it's an S tier for me. Okay, so I forgot a few areas. So I'll be ranking the City of Gold, and City of Gold is in D tier because you should not be dying here. The main reason I die here, I guess, is Crocmen, plus if I realize I only have 1 health when it's too late and I sack myself on accident. Other than that, there are mummies and crush traps, but if you look where you're going, it can be very easy, and all you have to do is just to get to one area and do one simple task. You don't ever go to the end of the City of Gold, unless you just don't have an Ankh, I guess. But the main reason is to get to Duat, so that's what I'm going off of, and it's D tier because it's not very difficult to get through. So the next area is Abzu, and Abzu will go in B tier, and the main reason it's a little more difficult than you might think is because the enemies that come out of Kingu's back can be quite difficult sometimes. You know, if you don't have paste bombs, you know, and an Excalibur, it can be very difficult, but I'm just going to assume you have an Excalibur. The enemies below Kingu can be difficult sometimes, especially like the poison snails. You can just see poison bubbles out of nowhere when you're on Kingu's back. But overall, it is very quick and simple, but it can rack up damage, so I will put it in B tier. Alright, so the next area I will be ranking is Duat, and Duat is going to go in B. You know, once you keep doing Duat, in my opinion, it gets much easier because you know exactly what's coming. The first time, you know, you have no idea what's going to happen, so it would probably be an S, but if you have paste bombs, you can just easily kill Osiris and Anubis too really quickly. And maneuvering up is not as difficult, especially because you know Apep's gonna be there, so it's not very difficult. So, you know, if you let Anubis too start spawning enemies, it can be very difficult, but as long as you prevent that, which isn't very difficult, it's one hit and that's it. And the Osiris fight gets much easier as you keep doing it, and yeah, overall it is a B tier area for me. Next area I'll be ranking is the Sunken City, and the Sunken City is going to go in A tier because, you know, it's the Sunken City. Yeah, if I counted the Sun Challenge, I might even put it to S. Maybe you disagree, but I think it's an A because there are a lot of things there. There's not one thing I can point out, like in the jungle, the witch doctor. It just, you know, there can be falling bones from above, larvae, I think they're called, the frog traps, and if you just combine all these things, oh, and then the whatever the traps are called that can crush you, you have to time that, especially if you have the bow in your hands with the light arrow. So this area can be very difficult to maneuver through, and that's why it is in A tier, but I would not put it in S tier. Okay, so I'm just really quickly going to do the Eggplant World. So I'll just quickly make a new row. Oh, did I make 2 rows? Okay, just delete that. Anyway, so, well, I guess I should name it first. So, yeah, E for eggplant. So, obviously, I don't think anybody really didn't see this coming. It's not supposed to be difficult. The point of the Eggplant World is to heal up and get, like, a new power. And for lore, I guess. But, right, like I said, the only way I can see you dying in this area, the most likely way would be, like, you get stuck in a 1x2 area because of, like, the gate. If you don't comprehend that in your head and you just realize, oh, I'm stuck. And then I guess teleportation or bombs and fall damage. But like I said, the point of this level is not to die, it's to heal up. You know, you're not even supposed to take any damage. So it is a walk in the park. Obvious E tier for me, or eggplant tier. So I forgot to rank this area, so really quick is Tiamat's throne. I guess C tier. You know, it's kind of hard to rank this area because I don't really ever go to this area very often. What I mean by that is I just skip through it when going to the Sunken City, because at this point in the game I'm just trying to get to the Cosmic Ocean, which is obviously through the Sunken City. So I guess, you know, if you're actually going to do it, if you have a shotgun, freeze ray, or bombs, it's extremely easy. You know, if you have a whip, and that's it, probably it'd be S, I guess, because that's like extremely difficult. But I don't ever try to do this area because I just go right through it, so that's why it's C tier. So the second to last area is Hundun's Hideaway, and I'm going to put this area in B tier. And the reason it's in B tier is because I don't think it's worthy of A or S, because maneuvering through it, as long as you have equipable on your back, it's not that difficult. And it's, you know, the fight itself is not that difficult either, especially with pasted bombs. And if you don't even have pasted bombs, you can still time unpasted bombs correctly, which can be difficult at first, but once you do it a bunch, it's not very difficult. And obviously, if you have a shotgun, you know, presumably you want to have a bow and arrow, but if you don't, if you have a shotgun or something like that, it's even easier. Spike shoes, it's like instant kill, I think. And so overall, I would put this at B. So the last area in the game is the Cosmic Ocean, and, you know, it's obviously an S tier, because think to yourself, what is this list really about? It's how difficult is it to get through these areas? And if you're going to get through the Cosmic Ocean, it's going to take a few hours. You know, it's like 92 levels or something like that. 91, 92, I think. Probably wrong on that. But anyway, you know, not even counting the fact, so I'll just go through it though. The jellyfish, the unpredictability at which level you're going to get. Could be the jungle, could be the Temple of Anubis. And so you have to maneuver your way, finding each bubble and dealing with the cosmic jellyfish. You know, if you're a professional player, if such a thing exists in this game, you can really get on a groove doing the Cosmic Ocean. But, you know, you gotta get through like 90 levels, which is why it's an S. It kind of has to be. So to finish off this tier list, Cosmic Ocean is S tier. So that will be it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. I will do more of these in the future. And again, thank you for the journey overall. And so I guess tell me if you agreed with the list or not. And also sorry if I'm not talking very loud. I don't want to wake anybody up because it's very late at night. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time.